Well, boys and girls, Big Dog's had another exciting day. Perhaps it's time for Big Dog to say goodnight to all his friends and go to bed. Good night, Big Dog. Good night, girls and boys. Sweet dreams.
This program brought to you by Tooheys New and Bundaberg Rum. Tonight from the Sydney Football Stadium, the Newcastle Knights and the Sydney Roosters are just one match away from the grand final, and it's a duel to the death for the right to be there. The NRL Smoke-Free Final Series here on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
The Sydney Roosters or the Newcastle Knights are just 80 minutes away from a grand final appearance, and tonight, as we welcome you live to the Sydney Football Stadium, we will determine the first team through to this year's NRL decider. Newcastle come here tonight, a very fresh football team. Of course, they had the luxury of last weekend off. A little bit tougher for the Roosters. They are here tonight after a 38-10 victory over Canberra last weekend. And Phil Gould, it's always good fun coming to the football. We've got 4 teams left, so much at stake. Very special tonight.
It is. Finals are always special, Peter, and a big crowd here at the Sydney Football Stadium. A real air of expectancy. The Newcastle fans have come down in 40 busloads. They're here in force. So too are the Roosters fans. A lot of the semi-finals have been blowout scorelines up until now. I really think this game will go down to the wire. This will be the best game of the final series.
Well, these sides met twice through the regular season. Take us through the results.
Yeah, the home team got home on both occasions. The Roosters 20-18 here at the football stadium. The most telling result, I guess, 46-12 in favour of the Knights only 6 weeks ago up there at Marathon.
And that 46 points illustrates just how a potent attacking unit this is for the Newcastle Knights. How do the Roosters handle that tonight any differently to what we saw only in round 22?
Yeah, well, up at Marathon Stadium, the Roosters employed an up-and-in defensive system. It is going to be different tonight, but the Newcastle Knights played on the inexperience of the Roosters down the edges. A lot of their young players were lacking confidence about when to come in or stay out. Minicello and Cross on this right-hand side were targeted a hell of a lot by the Newcastle back line. They ran in 46 points in a pretty telling display. Now, last week against the Raiders, we highlighted a new slide defensive system used by the Roosters, and they gained a lot of confidence from this performance. It wasn't until the 68th minute that the Raiders actually crossed their line. They believe that they are ready for the Newcastle Knights this evening.
Now, in finals football, Gus, we do look for the big-name, big-time players. For the Roosters, aren't the number 6 and 7 the key?
They certainly are. I guess that finals are won by forwards. If the Roosters forwards can give these two men the space, they've proven over the years that they can tear any side apart. Talking to Adrian Lamb during the week, he's really excited about this clash. He ran with a lot of freedom last Sunday against the Raiders, and I really think that between Lamb and Fittler, they can create a lot of opportunities down the edges for this Roosters back line.
Well, we can see Adrian Lamb and Brad Fittler that they don't necessarily have to play the regular positions. A lot of time we see Adrian Lamb too wide, and I think the great thing about both Brad and Adrian this season, they've run the football a lot more.
They have, and they've got a lot of options. I really think that Brad Fittler is looking forward to a big clash against Andrew Johns. It's been highlighted they're the two best players in the world. I know you've got a lot of time for the Newcastle number 7.
Well, I've got a lot of time for the Newcastle number 6 as well. They almost have a telepathic understanding, the brothers, Matthew and Andrew Johns, and they too are going to be key players tonight for the Newcastle Knights. Kicking game, spectacular stuff there against the Melbourne Storm between Matthew Gidley and Matthew Johns. And we see here Andrew Johns. He was troubled early in the year with a groin injury. Quite amazing the second half of the season where he's had no trouble taking on opposition defences.
Yeah, that little left foot, right foot step dispelled any fears about his injury. His goal kicking has also improved. He is a real key player for the Knights this evening.
And enjoying his football as well. Let's talk a little bit about pressure. Am I right in believing that there's almost a forgottenness about the Roosters with these top four? So much talk about Brisbane, Parramatta and Newcastle, the chances they are of winning the title. I haven't heard too much about the Sydney Roosters in the last week or so.
No, people have tended to steer away from them, and I guess they have been a little inconsistent at times during the year. 9 times this year they've won by more than 20 points, but on 8 occasions they've also lost by more than 20 points, and that doesn't give anyone a great deal of confidence to tip them. But they have performed well against Newcastle at this time of year in the past, and I know they're excited about tonight's clash.
Well, who are you tipping?
Well, I'm tipping the Roosters. Look, it's really going to come down to the battle of the forwards to see which pair of halves get the latitude. If it is the Roosters, Lamb and Fittler to get them home.
No Scott Logan tonight. How much of a problem is that for them up front? You mentioned forwards winning matches. He's a big loss, and it's not something that's foreign for the Roosters at this end of the year. They've had problems the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, they lost Scott Logan, but they get Dallas Hood back. And tonight they've made a change. Shane Rigon comes in on the bench for Darren Burns, and I like him as a player as well.
I'm tipping Newcastle, and I am very confident. We'll take a break now from the Sydney Football Stadium and back with our first preliminary final, the Roosters up against the Knights.
G'day.
Yo, everybody! This is that Aussie dude I was telling you all about.
G'day, fellas.
Can I get you a drink?
Okay to BYO? Go ahead. Check it out.
Woo! Hey, give me 5, man.
Hey, easy, mate. Try one at a time.
This weekend, it's finals time, and at Cardiff Toyota, we're putting huge hits on the opposition with huge savings on Toyotas, passing out huge incentives on Kias, Subarus, and huge savings on over 400 quality used cars. Plus, buy any car, and you can win up to $1,000 cash back just by passing the ball. Now, that's a real crowd pleaser. That's the finals this weekend at Cardiff Toyota. All right? All right.
Right now at Domain, you can process and print the dream with speed. Software and accessories you always wanted. Because right now, the dream can be yours. No deposit, 1 year interest-free, with nothing to pay until September 2001 at...
Everybody needs looking after. With dental, optical, physio, chiropractic, natural therapies and more, NIB's Quality Extras covers you on many things that Medicare doesn't. Now from just over $7 a week. Join now and we'll waive the usual 2-month waiting period. Call 13 14 63. NIB's Quality Extras. Cover your body needs.
There was something I wanted. I needed 15 grand. I needed it fast. Wednesday, I rang the grader. Thursday, 24 hours later, I had the loan. Saturday morning, check it out. $15,000 for just $74 a week. How easy is that? Call 13 13 86.
At last, a new Holden dealer for Newcastle. Kelly Holden, Eastlakes. With new, used and HSV vehicles and a 16-bay high-tech service department. Kelly Holden, Eastlakes, Pacific Highway, Gateshead. See how good they can be for you.
Dave, come and have a drink.
Schooner of new, thanks.
Sorry, mate. No dogs allowed.
That's a guide dog, mate.
Guide dog? Guide dogs are either German Shepherds or Labradors.
What are they giving me?
I'll give that man and you.
Right Right now, for a limited time only, Sharps Tractor Centre Rutherford have dynamic deals on John Deere 5010 series range of tractors with big manufacturer bonuses. Dynamic deals on John Deere 6010 series range of tractors with big manufacturer bonuses. And ask about a John Deere finance package that'll make it even more affordable.
That's the way to do it.
For a dynamic deal on a John Deere tractor, talk to the expert.
Sharps Tractor Centre Rutherford.
And welcome back to the Sydney Football Stadium. Rugby League headquarters tonight is around about 7,000 to 9,000 below capacity. It is a marvellous atmosphere and a tremendous crowd. Estimated at around about 35,000 people. And as you can see, there are thousands and thousands of Knights supporters who've made the trek down the freeway from the Hunter Valley. Sydney Roosters probably outnumbered here by about 4-1, but it is a wonderful atmosphere at the football stadium tonight. First preliminary final, and as Peter said at the top of the introductions, tonight either the Roosters or the Knights, one of them will go to the grand final, first team through to meet the winner of tomorrow afternoon between Parramatta and Brisbane. Lovely night in Sydney. Stage is set for what should be a fantastic game. Significant to note that the Knights, the last 4 times they played the Roosters, they've gone down to them 3 times. But more significantly, the last time they played, they beat them 46-12 at Marathon Stadium. Brad Fittler takes them out. They finished second in the competition regular. And of course, they went down in the opening week of the finals to Parramatta. Fittler, of course, one of the key members of this venture tonight by the Roosters to make a grand final for the first time since 1980. 1980 went down to Canterbury, and Adrian Lamb, of course, the other member of the key equation. The 6 and 7 from both sides. Fittler and Lamb against Matthew and Andrew Johns. But as well as they might be able to play, and champions that they are, I don't think there's any doubt at all that the forwards, whoever gets on top there, will provide the latitude for the star players in the back line to take control. Look at those flags. Newcastle are out there. Adam McDougall running out and actually clapping the crowd as he runs out. Let's have a look at the team cards. Firstly, let's look at the Roosters lineup. And here they are on their home ground at the Sydney Football Stadium. 12 from 14 they've won in most recent times. Phil Gould.
Yeah, Luke Phillips at fullback, Singh, Cross, Hegarty, Minicello, Fittler and Lamb the halves, Ricketson, Fitzgibbon, Fletcher, Cusack, Benetti and Rubin, and on the bench, and a productive bench, Hood, Solomona, Wing and Rigon, and coached by Graham Murray.
And the Newcastle Knights, Adam McDougall at fullback, Darren Albert, Tahu the wingers, Gidley and Hughes the centre pairing, Matthew and Andrew Johns in the halves, Billy Peden locks the scrum, Ben Kennedy and David Fairley the second rowers, and up front Matt Parsons, Danny Badeiros and Tony Butterfield who captains the side, and the interchange bench Rudder, Shields, Simpson, Rahihi and their coach Warren Ryan.
Well, I guess I preempted the weather conditions. It's a nice night in Sydney. Andrew's on the sideline. Hello, Andrew.
Yeah, g'day, Ray. Unlike last Saturday night, no chance of rain here. The atmosphere as good as it gets. It's as if Marathon Stadium got mobile tonight. You can look at it 2 ways. Could be a boost to Newcastle, the support, but I also think players like Brad Fittler, Brian Fletcher, Adrian Lamb, they thrive on occasions like this.
So the stage is set. Newcastle are going to run from left to right. And the match is under referee Bill Harrigan. The whistle is there. The first of the preliminary finals is underway. Cusack it is, the first of the Roosters to bring it back. Put down just inside his own 20-metre line. Newcastle's record here at the football stadium, not good. In fact, they've only won 1 from their last 6 outings here at Moore Park. Cusack again, his second hit up in the first use of the football for the Sydney Roosters. Butterfield coming off second best in defence then, and Fittler kicks on an early tackle. A big kick going down to McDougall back in his own 20-metre line. And he's put away there by the Roosters centre Ryan Cross, with Ricketson covering a lot of ground to participate in the tackle. Newcastle then. Second tackle of the night for them, and Bill Harrigan penalises the Roosters.
You'll see both teams tonight trying to play the ball down of the opposition. This time Luke Ricketson just going too long on Tamana Tahu for Bill Harrigan's liking. But you've got to make sure that the momentum is stopped for the opposition. Here's Parsons.
To the opposition 40-metre line. Crowd of around 35,000 people. And just on the journey down here tonight. Bus after bus coming down from Newcastle and the Hunter Valley. It was almost an endless chain. David Fairley, England bound. Plenty of players on departure. Should this be the last for Newcastle tonight? Kennedy did well. Hampered by that ankle injury. So they come to the right. They're 10 metres out. Andrew steps, gets the ball away. Kennedy was there, stayed alert. And then a floating pass, finding McDougall on the bounce. And McDougall then on the 20-metre line. They're losing ground with the football. Badeiras, 11 away from the line on the eastern side of the ground. Andrew Johns, a grubbing kick. And over the dead ball line, it'll come back to the 20 for the restart. So the first pressure has been repelled by Sydney Roosters.
They'll be disappointed with that, Andrew Johns. He had a little bit of time to get a better kick in, force the line drop out. Went too deep.
Fittler now. Fitzgibbon losing it forward. And this is a break for Newcastle. They'll have the loose head and feed, 30 metres out, 20 metres in. On the Roosters' end of the park, it was Fittler. Put a bullet-like pass across. I fancied that it was meant for Hegarty. And Fitzgibbon put a hand on it. It went forward. So they sort each other out early. McDougall into the back line. Pumped like I don't think I've seen before from Adam McDougall. Matthew Johns was the dummy half. Parsons gave an inside ball. Peden's there. Peden to the 10-metre line. And he will play at 10 metres in from touch, eastern side. So Newcastle thrust again. Matthew Johns, one of the players who would be on departure as of tonight if they're beaten. Then Fairley. And Fairley does a pirouette. Looking for a grand final with great pain, I would imagine. The kick is marked on the full by Matt Singh. Well, they can pump away at that wing down into that corner all night, and he will give you nothing. 20-metre restart again for the Roosters. Let's hope for their sake that they get through this set of 6 better than they did last time.
Well, this is a very encouraging start defensively for the Roosters. Keep turning the Newcastle players in, forcing some ordinary kicks, and that will build their confidence as Fitzgibbon gets the football this time. 45 out from his own line. Second tackle.
Benetti then. And then Fittler, and runs himself. He tries to crack them. They hang on. He trampled away from Parsons. Got his pass away. Ricketson's there. They got an overlap. They got numbers on the way to the ground. Ryan Cross gets it away to Minicello. Minicello's over. Minicello. The touch judge likes it. Bill Harrigan is going to look at it. But I think that Minicello is of the opinion he has scored a fair try.
Well, Bill Harrigan believes that the grounding of the football is okay. I have got a little bit of a doubt on the Luke Ricketson pass. Now, I'm pretty sure I heard Bill Harrigan right saying that he was happy with the Minicello put down. Fantastic work from Brad Fittler. How he got that pass away, I'll never know. My only concern is that ball there. I think it's forward.
It'll be interesting to see how it looked off the hands. There's no doubt it looks as though it's floated forward. Off the hands of Luke Ricketson. It's coming up. And there's the hands. There's the pass. And I don't know. I certainly wouldn't be arguing if he rules fair try.
Yeah, for those people at home, don't be concerned where Ryan Cross caught the football. It's where the hands were aimed. And that is the decision to be made by the video referee.
This is very much even Stevens for mine. It's no try. Video referee John Gosha ruling no try.
Yeah, well, it just undoes some outstanding work by Brad Fittler. Watch this for perseverance and strength over the top. Got it away to Luke Ricketson. Could have passed now. He decided to take a defender out, and that defence just enabled the pass to go forward. A let-off for the Knights, and bad luck for Brad Fittler because he did so well to create that opportunity.
And Newcastle then, with Bill Peden beating the first attempt from Craig Fitzgibbon. Play on the 40-metre line. A let-off for the Knights, their big support group. They breathe a sigh of relief as Butterfield hammers it ahead and gets it a couple of metres on the Rooster side of halfway. 0-0 in the first preliminary final as Newcastle and Sydney Roosters vie for the first team to be through to the grand final. Andrew puts a kick across in front of the uprights. It's fielded there by the disallowed try scorer Minicello, and he did very well. He was able to beat Tahu and get back into the field of play.
We've got a knock on, Ray. Dummy half. Minicello did a great job. Unfortunately, Luke Phillips, I think, is the man at dummy half. He was knocked on.
He certainly has a double grab there. And the Roosters started off this way last week against the Raiders. Turned over a lot of ball at their own end of the field. Their defence held on that occasion. They won't be able to give too many more opportunities to the Newcastle Knights down in this area of the field.
So, again, the Roosters very much on the back foot. Their defence has held Newcastle twice. This is the third attacking launch from Newcastle inside the 20-metre zone. And it is Bill Peden. Now, Buderis, as we've seen here at the football stadium, losing his footing more so than being tackled. And then McDougall finding Matthew Johns. He's off his left foot. And they take him to ground. Cusack, the big front rower, hitting very hard up the top of Simon Bonetti. Buderis again, fires it away. Andrew Johns, he gets the ball away for Hughes, and Hughes is over. Newcastle first try. Mark Hughes diving in. Newcastle grabbing first points.
It can be a cruel game, can't it? The Roosters have done very well, but they've cut their own throat at this end of the field following this knock-on at dummy half from Luke Phillips. As Phil Gould pointed out, you just can't give them this many opportunities. Great pass, this one. As we freeze it there, you can see we've got the winger, has got a couple coming at him. The straight running of the try scorer is the key. He gets outside Ryan Cross. Underrated player Mark Hughes ran a perfect line, but a beautiful pass delivered onto his chest.
Yeah, two problems in this try. Number one, Ryan Cross came up and stood still, didn't keep his feet moving. And number two, Luke Phillips, too deep. He was in his in goal. Can't defend from there. He had no time to pick up Hughes on the outside. And again, the Newcastle Knights working on the right-hand defence of the Roosters. And those young fellas are in for a busy night over there. You can't keep turning the ball over to this team at your own end of the field and not expect to pay.
Well, if we keep mentioning Mark Hughes, he won't be underrated, but he is certainly one of the unsung heroes in this Newcastle team and has been for a couple of years now. We've seen him play some fullback. He's really settled into the centre position well under Warren Ryan. Defensively strong, and he does get his fair share of tries as Andrew Johns looks to make 4-6.
5 metres in, 20 metres out. The kick is on its way, and it's away. No conversion. 4-0 Newcastle as we go to our first break.
G'day.
Yo, everybody! This is that Aussie dude I was telling you all about.
G'day, fellas.
Can I get you a drink?
Okay to BYO. Go ahead. Check it out.
Woo! Hey, give me 5, man.
Hey, easy, mate. Try one at a time.
Back live at the football stadium. Newcastle first try came at the 7th minute, scored by Mark Hughes. No addition to the scoreboard off the kick from Andrew Johns. It is 4-0. As Butterfield is tackled, they gave him a massive send-off on Tuesday night in Newcastle in front of a crowd of 2,000. And, of course, his teammates would love to give him a bigger send-off here tonight. Badeiros is doing well. Badeiros has made a big run. He's down to the 30, puts the kick in. The Newcastle side outnumbered in the race for the ball, Fittler.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure whether Danny Badeiros should have kicked there. He did deliberately for Darren Albert. But great work from Badeiros to see Brad Fittler slow out of the marker area as the Roosters receive a relieving penalty.
Now, apparently Luke Ricketson is out of the game, Andrew.
Oh, Ray, this is tragic news. I mean, that forward pass, Luke Ricketson in the lead up to the no try for Minicello, it is a double blow. He has done his hamstring. He felt it go. He's only got a 10% chance of coming back. But looking at that shot, I'd have to say Luke Ricketson is out of this game.
Well, that's a double whammy. Luke Ricketson, we believe, will take no further part. One of their key players in a star-studded back of the scrum, Luke Ricketson, we don't think will be back. And the look on the face says it all. And that means that the workload for Brian Fletcher and Craig Fitzgibbon, it grows immensely. Lamb away for Fitzgibbon now. Ball loose, gathered in by the Roosters. And the fifth tackle is there for them now. On the 40-metre line, Newcastle's end. Newcastle leading 4-0 as Fittler kicks. Charge down pressure from Kennedy. McDougall underneath it. And McDougall on his own 10-metre line. Comes to Ryan Cross and Shane Rigon. And that's where he plays the ball.
Talking to Brad Fittler during the week, he believes he can get a bit of a mistake out of Adam McDougall. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a hell of a lot more high kicks during the course of this contest. Brad Fittler believes he can get a fumble from the Newcastle number 1.
Parsons. This is Rahihi. When Newcastle played in the grand final in 1997, I think I'm right in saying he was in the Navy. Probably playing in the rugby league preliminary final or grand final was simply a dream. As Andrew Johns puts this ball down, bouncing away from Luke Phillips. He's back and he's in goal. He'll be forced to pick it up, I feel. No, he's able to just encourage it across that dead ball line. A little bit too much weight from Andrew Johns, but that was by far and away his best kick thus far. Singh.
That is a savage blow for the Roosters if Luke Ricketson takes no further part. He's been in great form the last couple of weeks. He took our man of the match in the game against the Broncos. They won 28-0. And his work rate will be missed as the Roosters take it towards the halfway line with Fletcher.
Benetti. Adrian Lamb drifting across, putting Rigon up the middle. Thumb being strapped up there for Peter Shields. And this is Dallas Hood now. They lost one, got one back. Scott Logan, replaced by Dallas Hood. Scott with that injury to the cheekbone. A penalty goes to the Roosters on the 40-metre line. Newcastle's end.
And that's a cardinal sin. You do not give away a penalty on the last tackle. You've just worked hard for 5, forcing the opposition to kick. And you give away a soft penalty. I think it's Steve Simpson who was the culprit. Although Badeiros had a little bit of a hand in there as well. Great chance for the Roosters now. Their best so far of the match.
Fittler finding the line, 11 away. Benetti now. Solomona with a very good run, dedicated. Benetti, a little juggler dummy half. I thought for a moment there might have been a tiny knock on, but no. And Solomona is there for duty to go to Lamb. Lamb turns it back on the inside for Fletcher. Fletcher, they contain the ball. Rahihi and Kennedy. And then Fitzgibbon. Oh, bad pass. Fittler did well. And Andrew Johns puts him away with the help of his brother, but Bill Harrigan was playing an advantage. And the Roosters will more than likely take the kick at goal. They're only about 10 metres away from the uprights and 10 metres out. 4-0.
Well, you could see Bill Harrigan played advantage there. He told Andrew Johns 3 times in a row, you've been offside. Matthew Johns is generally the man who gets a bit of a running caution at times for getting up offside continuously. This time, his brother. And that gives Fitzgibbon a chance to put their first points on.
Having coached the Roosters, the loss of Ricketson How big a blow. How big a blow.
Well, he's an 80-minute player, Ray. He's the one who works the ball out of your own end of the field when you're tired. He comes up with so much defence, and on that right-hand side where they've been a little bit lax early in this game, he's very important to those two younger players. But it's finals times. These things happen. You talk about this in preparation for a game. The key player goes down. Someone's got to step into the breach. This is where heroes are made. Dallas Hood, Shane Rigon, David Solomon to get their opportunity. They've got to put their hand up and do it for the Roosters tonight.
19 in. 16 out. Fitzgibbon! Oh, shaky, but got it. It's a goal to the Sydney Roosters. They are trailing by 4-2.
I'm young, I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, and can't possibly be beat. I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. I murdered a rock, injured a stone. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time. I told you all that I was the greatest.
It is Mitsubishi. It is 4-2 in the first preliminary final. Newcastle with a try, which wasn't converted, and then a penalty goal to the Roosters, reducing that lead back to just the 2 points. And apart from the scoreboard, the next most important thing is to reiterate that Luke Ricketson appears to be out of the game, tearing a hamstring. Riggin. Lamb getting his kick away under pressure and finding touch. Yes. Almost regretted saying that. It was just lollying along there, eventually finding it.
I was talking to Matthew Johns at the Footy Show Awards a few weeks ago, and he said that Warren Ryan has been drilling them very heavily on their up and in defence. He believes that finals football is won by pressure in defence. They're certainly getting up quick. They've conceded a couple of penalties. They're trying to wear down the patience of referee Bill Harrigan. The Roosters are going to have to kick earlier. A lot more of that from Adrian Land and Brad Fittler to break up this Newcastle Knights up and in defence.
Because that is one part of the equation we probably haven't dealt with tonight. Newcastle with the services of Warren Ryan, veteran coach. Very successful coach, though. The times tackled in the opposition 20 statistic, simply reflecting that Newcastle have been down there more often than Sydney Roosters. But Ryan's experience in finals, it cannot be underestimated. As the Johns brothers combine before they find Rohihi, and then he gets the ball away back for Matthew. Matthew gets it back for Simpson. Simpson up to the 30-metre line, trying to run between them now. And Hegarty and Fittler are there, but he gets a flick pass away. And this is Gidley. Gidley going across the park, puts a left-footed kick in. He's looking for the flankers out on the left of the ground. And beautiful work by Newcastle and by Minicello. But that was really hot stuff.
I'm looking at Peter Sterling and he's smiling because this is what he enjoys about rugby league and doesn't everyone else. Some super football in this passage. Look at Andrew Johns, in and out at the players, one around the corner. It'll go across field. It looks like it's dead. Matthew Johns will be held. Now he gets it out the other side. Comes back for Simpson. He'll do a terrific ball out the back to Gidley. He'll now mosey across the field, line up his outside supports and put an inch-perfect kick in behind the line to force a line drop out against the Roosters. Tremendous football.
Here's Gidley now, playing it just outside the 20-metre line as Newcastle go in the Roosters' red zone area again. Problems there for Ian Rubin, and Bill Harrigan's calling a stop.
Well, it's not often you see the big fella stay down. And a bumper year for the Roosters is Ian Rubin. Coming in on that tackle, and he just cops a bit of a forearm there from Craig Fitzgibbon. And that adds insult to injury when you cop it from a teammate. The thing I like about Newcastle when they've got the football, they just continue to ask questions. If you relax anywhere, you are going to get hurt.
4-2 the scoreboard. Newcastle a try at the 7th minute, scored by Mark Hughes. Beautiful pass, like a missile from Andrew Johns in front of this crowd. I'm pretty sure I'm right in suggesting to you we're about 7,000 short of capacity here at the football stadium. And really that emphasises just how many people have made that fairly long journey down from Newcastle. to follow their team. It's not meant to be disrespectful to the locals here at Eastern Suburbs, but the Novocastrians, they just absolutely love their rugby league. So this is the second tackle as Rahihi is forced back. Good defence. Good solid stuff there, particularly from Adrian Lamb. And now Simpson. 11 out, centre of the ground. Matthew Johns. They take him low and high, and Bill Harrigan was playing the advantage. Newcastle will take the kick at goal. Andrew Johns has pointed to the uprights.
And this time it was Brad Fittler, the man penalised, so you can see the importance on the fringe of the ruck for both defensive teams to be getting up quickly. Will Harrigan very aware that that is happening. He's playing advantage, and when there is no advantage, he awards the penalty.
Brad was never behind the referee, and he might not have appeared to get involved in the game, but he did herd the Newcastle attack back in.
He knew what he was doing, Ray, and it shows what respect they've got for this Newcastle attack as Andrew Johns lines up his penalty shot.
So Andrew is online. It is 6-2. He got the goal then that he missed earlier. 6-2 Newcastle over Sydney Roosters. 20 minutes gone.
I don't know where you're going to get a park. Mate, here's the pub. I'll get the beers. You park the car. G'day, mate. I'd like to borrow $150, please.
What are you going to leave as security?
For you?
Okay. But it'll cost you $10 for every day until you pay it back.
Sure.
I can't believe that a guy like you would be short of anything.
Short? Oh, no. Where else would you get overnight parking in the city for $10? Give that man a new. Cheers.
That's the scoreboard here at Football Stadium in Sydney. 6-2 Newcastle leading the home side, Sydney Roosters. A try and a penalty goal to Newcastle up against a penalty goal only for the Roosters, who have lost one of their big guns. They've lost their lock forward, Luke Ricketson. As Newcastle, the red and blue side, through Andrew Johns, put it down to Luke Phillips to come away from his 10-metre line, and the run ending out on the 20.
Coaches tend to pull something different out in finals football. That time a very uncharacteristic set of 6 by the Newcastle Knights. Warren Ryan, 5 runs out of dummy half before a kick by Andrew Johns, just to let the Roosters know not to sprint up too quickly in defence. We'll gnaw away at you from the dummy half area.
Completions very, very high for Newcastle. Almost impeccable.
I also think it's really important to come up with a good set of 6 after you've put points on the board. They did that well. Solomon, who's been a bit of a handful since coming into this game not so long ago. Spins out of a tackle. Last now against Fittler. He kicks outside the 40. McDougall allows it to bounce.
Kennedy continues to work. Little things that go unnoticed a lot. Going up on Fittler, putting pressure on the kick. Running decoys, all that sort of stuff.
Well, Ray, we highlighted the battle of the halves here tonight. I think one of the other great confrontations is Kennedy and Fletcher. 2 fantastic second rowers. Both State of Origin teammates as Parsons takes it 45 out from his own line.
And Parsons, of course, went from South to Newcastle. And a contrasting end to his season. 99 as opposed to the year 2000. Matthew Johns only gaining a couple of metres, and the markers take care of him on tackle number 5 for his brother. And it's a little chip and a chase, and Gidley's after it. The bounce is important, and it's come down for Adrian Lamb. 25 out on the western side of the ground. As they run it across to Hegarty, and Hegarty looked to be taken a shade high.
I thought David Fairley should have been penalised for a second tackle on Adrian Lamb. They had to play on as the Roosters go wide. A chance here if they can get on the outside. They have with Fletcher.
So they head across to Minnesot's ring.
Got forward pass, Ray.
Forward pass called by Bill Harrigan. Back inside the 40-metre line. So again, the Roosters have hit the right side. Newcastle's left defence.
It's a perfect example of the up and in defence by Newcastle, and the Roosters chancing their hand. Look how they sprint up there on the edge, and Fletcher just able to do a little in and away and get behind the line. And if you come up and in defence, you've got to make sure you don't go past the ball. That pass pass there was ruled forward by referee Harrigan. A narrow call. Ryan Cross was away. The Roosters chancing their arm at their own end of the field. Come up short again this time.
Hold. Get in.
They're a dangerous combination, Cross and Hegarty. They've both scored 17 tries for the year. Total of 34 tries emanating from the centre partnership for the Sydney Roosters. And Newcastle again. Last time the Roosters nearly scored, they came back and scored almost immediately. Will they do it again? Peter Shields finding McDougall. And he gets it away, down on his knees as he passed it. And Matthew Johns will play it now. Buderis just getting the jumper back on. Then Andrew Johns inside ball. Fairley. So close. Adjacent to the uprights. Buderis fires it. Andrew Johns, Matthew Gidley. Gidley flick passes, Darren Albert. The Gidley-Albert combination, a famous combination. Gidley again, wide for Andrew Johns. He puts it across for the left hand. This will be a trial. They blocked it. Now the Roosters pick it up. Ryan Cross goes down the ground, and Bill Harrigan has called it back. There looked to be total indecision, total hesitation.
Well, I think he's got the Roosters here for a knock-on, Ray. I believe. No, in fact, yes, we are. We're going back to a line dropout. I think the chasers were offside from Newcastle anyway.
There seemed to be a breakdown of communication between the touch judge and Bill Harrigan.
And if Peter Shields picks that football up, it would have been a try.
Well, there's no doubt that Minicello's knocked that ball on. So too did the Newcastle player. Bill Harrigan looked to his touch judge, who did stop in the background. He was sure that Minicello had knocked it on. Bill Harrigan wasn't so sure, kept up with the play, but in the end, communication between the linesman and the referee has come up with the right decision. More pressure for the Roosters.
Stay onside, kick behind the line.
And so far, they've had no luck at all, the Sydney Roosters.
Particularly frustrating night for Ryan Cross so far. He's been... Oh, McDougall!
McDougall to the 20-metre line. Dearest waits. Parsons big and strong, eventually pulled down by Fletcher. Dearest then, Andrew Johns. Now it's Tony Butterfield. Butterfield has taken Craig Ring, who's on in jumper number 17. And then Matthew Johns just scoops it away for Buderis to be taken by Solomona. Full tackle gone. Newcastle close. Matthew Johns, a stepping run, ending a metre from the line. Danny Buderis. Wide for Andrew Johns. He puts a kick in off the outside edge of the boot. A chance here to get back for the Roosters, but no. Line dropout, second best result for Newcastle.
He may not have got back in the field of play, but gee, he did a good job, Minicello. A tough ball to pick up on the fly. Rubber kick again from Andrew Johnson. Just look at the winger come across. He was at speed. And the chase from Butterfield and Buderis there to finish him off.
27 minutes gone. 6-2 Newcastle. Just the one try with Tahu playing it just outside the Roosters 20-metre line. They've had a lot of territory. They've had a lot of opportunities, Newcastle. I'm just wondering if they're starting to worry about the scoreboard. As Kennedy gets away, Kennedy pulled down about 7 metres out from the line. They're in familiar territory. Andrew Johnson's over. Did he drop the ball? That's the question. Andrew thinks that he has scored right next to the uprights.
Well, I thought Danny Buderis might be the man scoring from dummy half close to the line. But Andrew Johns is of the belief that he has got their second try. Quick play the ball. He saw a gap. He gets close. Slams it down. That's a try. Any disagreement in the box?
I want to see the other angle yet before I give it to him. Oh, I don't know. We're going to have to see that from the far side, I would believe. From this side, it's very hard to tell whether the hand was actually in contact with the football as it hit the line. Ball comes down. Here it is. This last little knock from Dallas Hood is enough to slow his momentum. I don't think so. Sterlo?
Well, in this situation, basically I think you've got to decide whether he still had control of the football. And I don't think he lost control of it. You know, he can slam it down through to China and have it bounce as high as the goalpost. But if he's got control when he slams the ball down, that's the only thing of any consequence. And I'm still of the belief that, no, it was a try.
It is a green light.
Although Andrew Johns is very relieved. He had his doubts.
He certainly had his poker face on the first time then. He gets out of dummy half here, plays on a little bit of tired defence and slams it down. And when he got up, he was so confident in his reaction. Once he was awarded the try, I saw a little bit of relief there.
You could see, sorry Phil, you could see that he saw David Solomona just a little bit slow up off the ground. Craig Wing lost balance as well, so he picked his time to go. And that helps enormously. As you pointed out, Ray, they had some, I don't know about opportunities, but they'd been down in a position to score tries. And they would have been disappointed if they hadn't have built a bigger lead than this with 10 to go.
So Andrew Johns converts his own try, a try that took him past his own record. He set the club record for most points in a season at 194 in 1995 for the Knights. And tonight, with that try, it has taken him past that record for the season. Andrew Voss on the sideline. Firstly, what's the story on Ian Rubin?
Yeah, well, Ray, right at the moment, the Roosters bench rotation is down to 2. Ian Rubin has been suffering from a bit of concussion and a bit of blurred vision. They were going to give him another 5 minutes before sending him out there. So they've only got the 2 fresh troops at the moment to interchange.
11 minutes out from the break. And I know it probably sounds crazy, but 12-2, I still think Newcastle will be thinking, gee, we haven't really got enough out of this so far.
I agree with you, Ray. I think they're a little bit out of sorts in attack just with the week off. It sometimes finds you a little bit of time to find your legs. Their 2 tries in that amount of possession isn't like the Newcastle Knights. The Roosters were doing particularly well. They do have to be next to score in this final.
Andrew Johns across halfway, forever probing. 19 minutes in opposition half, enjoyed by Newcastle, more than double the time for Sydney Roosters in the opposition's area.
Well, I must admit, I don't often do it, but I totally disagree with you both. I think they are setting up the victory. They are showing patience tonight that sometimes they haven't in the past. They're prepared to take more one-out forward running to set the platform. I think they're playing perfect finals football.
Please don't apologise if you want to disagree at any time.
Just don't write the Roosters off yet.
Oh, I haven't done that.
Solomona putting it down for Adrian Lamb. And they are 40 metres away. Solomona slow to rise. It's Fittler now. Throws a long ball. Maybe this time for Ryan Cross. Cross sprinting down the right. That was forward to Fitzgibbon. It's been called back again. Well, Ryan Cross, he'll be thinking, heavens above, I'll go back to bed and get out the other side.
The Roosters are never dead while they've got Brad Fittler and Ryan Cross down this right-hand side of the field. Watch this for a pass. That is absolutely sensational. Minicello can't quite get in right position. He falls over a Newcastle player there, ends up on offside. Ryan Cross did extremely well to get a ball back in field, but just couldn't get it travelling backwards. The Roosters have got some points in them.
He must have walked under a ladder or had a black cat step in his path, Ryan Cross.
Absolutely, Peter. The only good thing about all of that is we had no doubts that that pass was forward.
I've got to give a rap to Mark Hughes too. If he didn't get a handful of jersey of Ryan Cross, they score pretty much untouched. Butterfield takes it 25 out. Danger time now, final 10 minutes.
Kennedy. He was late out for the warm-up. Newcastle warmed up in front of the crowd. And it was noticeable that they had no Ben Kennedy. He was late coming out. And I would suspect some needles to get him through the game. Butterfield back to the bench. As the ball goes away for Andrew Johns, and he grubber kicks, and it's down inside the 10. Then Luke Phillips throws the dummy before taking the tackle. Dangerous place to start passing the ball. Minicello's there, and he comes away now out to the 20-metre line, tackled by Rahihi and by Fairley. Now Bonetti and Lamb combined. The pass from Lamb right on the line, and taken down is Matt Singh on this left flank. It's been on the other side of the ground that they've looked more potent, though. And they've lost the ball, but it's a penalty to Sydney Roosters.
Yeah, I think we're in for a treat here tonight. Newcastle got a good lead on the scoreboard, but the Roosters look as though they're not going to die wondering. Moving the ball from side to side, their ball players getting their hands on the football as much as possible. And a little strip there from Newcastle gives them a tremendous opportunity to come down into attacking areas. Two great attacking teams are going to go head-to-head here for the next 50 minutes.
Yeah, you feel as though the Roosters are just building up to something now. This is going to be an important set of 6. And if they can somehow force consecutive sets, it could be a very difficult time for Newcastle in defence.
One pass towards the centre of the ground for Cusack. Ruben is back on, then Craig Wing. And now Craig Fitzgibbon, 32 metres away from the line. They're going to hit the blind side, and Lamb came back, made a liar of me, hit on the markers. Wing, the first receiver. Nice pass, finding Fittler. Inside ball, Fletcher. On the 20-metre line. Newcastle's in. Seldom have they seen it legally. Ruben. Been there plenty of times, but they've been recalled for forward passes. Lamb on the last. A bit of a dust-up in back play. We'll come back to that. It's Hegarty getting it away, and it's Singer puts a kick in. Newcastle clean up. Peter Shields. A bit of a disagreement. Ben Kennedy and Simon Bonetti from memory.
Yeah, some great football down the left-hand side here. Not the most conventional way to get a line drop out. Brad Fittler had to go back for that ball. Look at that bullet-like pass across the face of his teammates. Singh, instead of going for the corner, put a little kick in, and it's good enough to get a perfect result, the line drop out. Gee, that was a good ball by Brad Fittler. Left of the field, right of the field. He's picking out these centres, and they are making inroads into the Newcastle defence.
Fittler waits for the line drop out. It's a good kick. It went 50 metres exactly. Ruben winds it up. And did well to get it back 19 metres from where he took the ball. Fletcher probing down the right side. Now they come back to the left. Lamb to Fittler. Fittler inside the 30-metre line, and he's pulled down by Matthew Johns. Matthew thought that he might have lost the ball. Made an appeal. It was turned down. Fitzgibbon gets it away for Bonetti. And Simon will play it now. 25 away from the Newcastle line. Craig Wing. Ian Ruben. Ruben taken by Sean Rudder eventually. 19 out. 5 tackles. Will they go to the air?
Should have been a penalty there to Ian Ruben. Pushed down by Rudder as Wing.
And confidently picked up by Darren Albert. He will play it 9 metres out from his line.
Thought they were a bit hard done by there, Ray. I really thought that Ian Ruben was pushed back down on the last tackle by Sean Rudder.
So Newcastle with Mark Hughes, who got one of their 2 tries. Andrew Johns got the other. Mark scored at the 7th minute. Shields now. First preliminary final, live on the 9 network, and then live again tomorrow from Stadium Australia. Parramatta versus Brisbane. Rahihi got it away. Andrew Johns away. Matthew Gidley's over the halfway. Darren Albert goes inside. Now he's outside. Gidley goes down the right side. Puts in a kick. Andrew Johns is after it. Ryan Cross is there. He runs away from Andrew Johns, and they are forced in goal.
I hope we can get the signal here from Andrew Johns in field for Gidley to kick that ball. Electrifying football by the Knights. Rahihi, good footwork. He gets out the back. Hegarty nearly got an intercept. Now watch Andrew Johns on the inside. As soon as Gidley gets to the outside, he'll head towards the post with his hand in the air. Kick for me. And as Peter Sterling said before the game, they've got telepathic communication, these Newcastle Knights. Ryan Cross did extremely well here. Couldn't get back into the field to play. That's just what the Newcastle Knights are capable of if they get a bit of room to move and some second phase play.
So the dropout is not good. Eventually it bounces around, taking up some time. And Rahihi. Matthew Johns has just got a little problem with his left eye. And his teammates now try to launch a raid that will lead them to a try before half-time.
He's having a blinder, Danny Badeiras.
Simpson passing from dummy half. Andrew Johns away to the back for Rudder. Rudder is put down 6 metres out from the line. Now Sean Rudder plays it back for Ben Kennedy. Kennedy goes to the short side. They've got numbers there. It's unloaded by Peter Shields. It's gone to ground. And the Roosters with it. 10 away from their own line. Dallas Hood in jumper number 14. Ruben. Three-man tackle waiting for Ruben to put him away. Benetti passing and finding Fletcher, and Fletcher's pass. But Craig Wing, he did well. Matthew Gidley was waiting for him, and Wing was able to catch and still get away. Time in opposition half. Those figures, they really haven't altered that much, have they? It's been a dominating Newcastle Knights. But still that scoreboard is only 12-2 in their favour. McDougall, who took a shot earlier of Robbie O'Davis. This Newcastle side would have to be the best side they've got, bar O'Davis. But McDougall, of course, has relished the term at full back. Minute and 3/4 to half-time. And Shields able to take the tackle, get it away. Badeiras there, Andrew Johns gives it away. Matthew Gidley goes down the right. Albert's there, Albert goes down the right, then comes away on the inside.
Craig Wing, I think, was called out here, Ray. Clumsy shot, caught Albert high.
Gidley, I thought he gave the ball just a little too early to Darren Albert. He stepped back inside here. Craig Wing coming across the top there, didn't need for that high shot there. He has connected. Gidley just didn't give him enough time on the outside. Matty Singh covered up pretty well. And Craig Wing coming back across field, collected him high. Now this is the most important minute 18 in the Roosters season so far. I would be very surprised if the Newcastle Knights don't try to put them to sleep here with a try before half-time. They've got to aim up for one set of 6 if they're a hope of winning this game. The Roosters must aim up in this next 6 tackles.
Here we go. Time's on. Hold.
Danny Badeiras taking the tap. And Andrew Johns goes back down the right side with Gidley. Gidley for Albert, he's over. And Albert is in. A familiar combination. Andrew Johns and Darren Albert, punctuated by Matthew Gidley. And Albert has scored. Shades of 97. And it was the double pump of Johns and Albert.
It's a planned move, as we freeze it there. You can see that they tried to get this man caught up, and they did, and that allowed Gidley to put Albert down the sideline. That was a planned move. Andrew Johns was selling that a forward was coming off him to the left. He propped back. They picked out a man in defence. It was Shannon Hegarty. They targeted him. They went to him. They got Gidley on the outside. Matt Singh had to come in. Saloon passage for the try scorer.
As long as I've known Warren Ryan, which is a long time, he loves little short side plays in big games. He always brings to the finals a set play down the short side. And on tackle 1, Andrew Johns' footwork, Gidley's skill, and Albert's pace has combined for an absolutely sensational try by the Newcastle Knights, and a real blow to the Roosters on the stroke of half-time.
1 minute and 18 seconds. That is what was on the clock. And Phil was of the opinion that it was just about the most important minute and a quarter in the Roosters season. They hit them down the right side, where in fact Andrew Johns and Darren Albert won the grand final for them in 1997. Maybe not quite as spectacular, but it worked. Johns then, and he's missed it, pushed it out to the left of the uprights. So at half-time, it is 16-2 in favour of the Knights. They've scored 3 tries to 0. Andrew.
I'll tell you what, if you want a contrast to the two coaches going to half-time, they both watched that try from the sideline. It was an ashen-faced Graham Murray that made his way up the tunnel, and I reckon there was almost a smile on the face of Warren Ryan, which is a little unusual at half-time of a big match.
So 3 tries to 2. Mark Hughes, Andrew Johns, and Darren Albert scoring on half-time. It is 16-2, the Knights over the Roosters as we go to a break in the preliminary final.
G'day.
Yo, everybody! This is that Aussie dude I was telling you all about.
G'day, fellas.
Can I get you a drink?
Okay to BYO. Go ahead, check it out.
Woo! Hey, give me 5, man.
Hey, easy, mate. Try one at a time.
Where did they get that?
Newcastle forward drive.
Where did they get that?
That's Newcastle four-wheel drive.
Where did they get that?
And Newcastle forward drives.
The best range of four-wheel drives with the best service. Get on out to Newcastle Four-Wheel Drive Centre. The four-wheel drive professionals, 444 Pacific Highway, Belmont.
Duff Creek has always been home to the onion.
You may kiss the bride.
And onion breath. But now, thanks to longer-lasting PK, there's a change in the air. The clean, fresh taste lasts even longer, so your breath stays fresh even longer.
PK!
PK, the longer-lasting fresh breath.
People can't wait for new Chicken Tonight light sauces. Half the fat and all the taste. In 4 great creamy flavours, like satay or creamy tandoori. Try light tonight.
Chicken Tonight.
Introducing Eagle Boy's Mighty Marathon Munchathon. 3 large pizzas, 1 large garlic bread, 2-liter Coke, just $22.95.
You ought to get a medal for that.
Nobody loves fresh like Eagle Boys.
Hardware House. Always the best brands at the best prices. Like this 6-volt lantern torch with 2 batteries built tough to last. A super low $9.95 for the best gifts this Father's Day. It's all here at Hardware House.
Buy now and no deposit with no interest and no repayments for 12 months at Harvey Norman. Buy a computer, printer, fax machine, photocopier, mobile phone and more. No deposit, no interest, no repayments for 12 months. Available to approved customers.
I need a loan to buy a car.
Small car, big car, any car.
Newcastle Permanent can help you buy the car you want with a fixed-rate personal loan that can be approved in 24 hours.
Talk to Newcastle Permanent.
They're our building society.
If you're about to buy a used car, the next 60 seconds could save you thousands. Because you always get a better deal at Gloucester Ford. Gloucester Ford gives you a better range with hundreds of excellent used cars to choose from. Everything from family sedans and wagons to 4-wheel drives and hatches. There's a used car for everyone at Gloucester's. Gloucester Ford gives you better value for money because every one of our hand-picked used cars is the best of its kind and priced with you in mind. There's a used car for every budget at Gloucester's. Gloucester Ford gives you better protection with our exclusive 3-year up to 175,000 kilometre warranty on every used car.
That's guaranteed peace of mind from Gloucester's. And you get better after-sale care from our state-of-the-art interactive service centre. You can even relax with coffee and a meal in our car cafe while you wait.
So for better choice, value, warranty and service, make sure you see Gloucester Ford, Tudor Street, Hamilton, where you always get a better deal.
Everything we expected here at the Sydney Football Stadium in this first preliminary final. Tremendous battle between the Sydney Roosters and the Newcastle Knights. The Knights in the ascendancy at the break, 16-2, with Hughes, Andrew Johns and Darren Albert all scoring tries. Andrew Johns has kicked 2 from 4. Craig Fitzgibbon, 1 from 1. And Phil Gould, just a marvellous first 40 minutes. Two class sides really have gone at each other. Despite the 14-point break, you've got to say that nothing has gone the Roosters' way. Some good work by the Knights, but the bounce of the ball certainly not favouring the home team.
Yeah, tremendous attacking play by both sides. Newcastle have come up with 3 tries. The Roosters could have come up with a couple themselves. You know, we could have such a different ball game at the moment. It's up to the Roosters now to respond with a second half display.
Early in this match, the Knights had a lot of football. They played good field position. In the 8th minute, they did take advantage after a knock-on from dummy half from Luke Phillips. Great ball, and we've seen plenty tonight. This one from Andrew Johns.
It certainly was, and perfectly executed on a slide defence. He was able to hold Ryan Cross up. He had decoy runners on the inside he had to attend to. Hughes hit the hole beautifully, put on his chest by Andrew Johns, the opening try to the Knights.
Now, when you're playing Newcastle as a coach, Phil, do you stress with the team that you can't relax at any stage? Because we've seen on occasions tonight the ball going one way and all of a sudden it's 3 passes back this way and you're in trouble if you've tuned out. This incident especially here, fantastic attacking play, and if you think you're not in danger, you are.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. What a second phase in this side. Everyone's got the ability to twist in tackles and unload the ball. Then they all get back and get available again. You see, everyone stays behind the football. Here it'll look dead for all money, but they know there's a possibility of the ball coming out the back. And as Gidley goes across the field, his outside support signal, there's a kick. They force a line drop out, they don't get a try, but it's tremendous pressure on your team. They're down one side of your field and then back the other. Here's Andrew Johns getting out for his try. Now, I wasn't quite willing to give it to him. Maybe that's the Rooster blood coming out of me. You gave it to him. The referee gave it to him, and that was a blow to the Roosters.
Now, very prophetic words from you just before the halftime break, talking about this minute and a half. Darren Albert, this is a big blow.
You know, against a Warren Ryan side, at some stage of the game, there's going to be a short side shot off a tap kick. Darren Albert very happy with this. Blows a kiss to the family. Newcastle Knights on top, 16-2 at the break. The Roosters have got it all to do.
A frustrating first 40 minutes for the Roosters. As we pointed out, they've had their chances, but the video referee has gone against them on a couple of occasions. This was line ball. Luke Ricketson also doing his hamstring in the movement.
Yeah, the good work of Brad Fittler wasted. Luke Ricketson should have passed now, took them on. He did a hamstring in that tackle. That pass was ruled forward. That would have been the opening try of the match to the Roosters. It was pulled back, and a minute later, after the no-try ruling, the Newcastle Knights scored the opening try at the other end of the field. Here again, Brad Fittler across the field, a magic ball to Ryan Cross. Now, as you said in the call, Hughes did a terrific job to get his jumper. Minicello couldn't get in position. The pass in field went forward. Another one gone begging for the Roosters.
Now, the Newcastle side know that their opposition tonight is not down and out. And would you believe that we've seen how the Roosters get back into this game? The passing game of Fittler taking advantage of the Newcastle defence, coming up and in at times?
Well, it's like cricketers chasing a big score. You know, if the opposition team is a good attacking side and they're well behind on the scoreboard, you've really got to get your alertness up because they're going to chance their arm. And Brad Fittler looks as though he's really going to take this up and in defence on. Some beautiful bullet-like passes across the face of players, is creating opportunities down the edges. The Roosters look as though they're not going to die wondering. They will not lay down, and the Knights are going to have to defend right to the wire to win.
Does Warren Ryan change anything in that defensive plan?
No, he's been aggressive with them in the last couple of weeks, getting up and in and putting pressure on the opposition. He will say, if Brad Fittler wants to take you on, keep getting up in his face, we'll get some loose ball out of it, or we've got to make him pass long to get to the outside. He won't be unhappy with that.
Well, these two sides now only 40 minutes away from a grand final appearance. At the moment, Newcastle a fair bit closer than their opposition. 16-2 in front. Don't forget tomorrow morning, the third round of this year's USPGA Championship from Louisville. You'll see that from 3:30 a.m. Tomorrow afternoon, live from Stadium Australia, our second preliminary final between the Brisbane Broncos and the Parramatta Eels. That's at 2:40 p.m. And next Thursday night, the grand final edition of the Footy Show from the Lyric Theatre, Star City. That's at 9:30. Check your local guides for all of those. We'll be back in just a moment at the Sydney Football Stadium with all the second half action.
I don't know where you're going to get a park.
Mate, here's the pub. I'll get the beers.
You park the car.
G'day, mate. I'd like to borrow $150, please.
What are you going to leave as security?
For you?
Okay. But it'll cost you $10 for every day until you pay it back.
Sure.
I can't believe that a guy like you would be short of anything.
Short? Oh, no, where else would you get overnight parking in the city for $10? Give that man a new. Jeez. When you're looking for a used car,
Kelly Holden's got a great range of used vehicles for you to choose from. Most with a 3-year warranty and all with the security of Kelly's after-sale service.
Kelly Holden, Cardiff and East Lakes.
Kelly Holden's got your car.
Kelly Holden's got your car.
Can you hear that?
Hear what?
That.
Nothing's tougher than hard yakka.
After 18 months at the Royal Military College, Duntroon, you'll have all it takes to be a true leader. Today's army is looking for tomorrow's leaders. So call 13 1901. The Army, the Edge.
Have a look. Left. I go left. Go left. There.
That's not $2 well spent.
Should have bought him a gauze.
This is McDonald's Burgers. Choose your favourite for just $2. Better hurry.
If only everything in life was as reliable as Star Trek Express, the world's smartest delivery system. Using the latest technology, Star Trek Express guarantees on-time delivery, and you can track and trace every consignment from your own office day and night. Star Trek Express, on time or your money back.
Now at Domain, see, hear, capture and relive the dream. And even have the dream kitchen and laundry you always wanted. All no deposit, 1 year interest free. Nothing to pay until September 2001. Right now at...
I need a loan to get away to Rome.
Rome, Paris, New York.
Newcastle Permanent can help you go where you want with a fixed rate personal loan that can be approved in 24 hours.
Talk to Newcastle Permanent.
They're our building society.
You can't beat Crazy John's guaranteed lowest prices at Cessnock Car Detailing and Sound. Pioneer radio CD players just $289. Kenwood radio CD players $269. And Pioneer 6-inch speakers just $69.
Can't beat that. You can't beat that.
Where did they get that? Newcastle 4-wheel drive.
Where did they get that?
That's Newcastle 4-wheel drive.
Where did they get that? At Newcastle 4-wheel drives.
The best range of 4-wheel drives with the best service. Get on out to Newcastle 4-wheel drive centre. The 4-wheel drive professionals, 444 Pacific Highway, Belmont.
Some interested spectators here at the football stadium. The Brisbane Broncos, of course. They play tomorrow against Parramatta. You'll see that live in New South Wales and Queensland. And, of course, they have their chance tomorrow to go through to the grand final. At the moment, we've got Newcastle leading by 14 points, 3 tries to 0, and well on their way to their second grand final. Won it here in 1997. They beat Manly. We had the split competition that year, you'll remember. And, of course, on the other side of the equation, Brisbane beat Cronulla in the same year. But there's a very good chance that the winners of both competitions in 97 will come together in the year 2000. The Roosters come back. They've got a mountain of work to do as we look at the Mitsubishi match statistics.
And they tell us that the Knights should lead by at least 14. Mammoth amount of possession. Their completion rate quite superb. 19 from 21 up against 11 from 17 from their opposition. 4-2 the line breaks. You can see the missed tackles down the bottom. 22-2 and the handling errors against them. 14 points. Probably quite conservative if you look at those stats.
Wonderful crowd. Middle 30,000s, probably about 35, 36,000. And after the disappointment of the crowd here for the Roosters Canberra game last weekend, I'm sure the rugby league officialdom will be tickled pink with tonight. We're going to eat some chicken tonight. Philip, my boy, they're going to eat some chicken, and I don't think that you like that idea.
Finals have a funny way of turning around. The Knights enjoyed 60% of the possession in the first half. The Roosters have shown if they can get that sort of share in the second stanza, they're quite capable of putting points on themselves. I don't think this game is over yet. The Roosters won't feel that way, and I'm sure the Knights don't feel that way either.
So the Roosters running from left to right. Andrew will be back from the sheds in just a moment. It'll be interesting to see if there's any good news, particularly for Luke Ricketson. He did a hamstring very early in the game. And here's Butterfield making a tremendous contribution early. Tackle 42 metres out from his zone line for Fairley to jump on the back. Of a tremendous run by Butterfield. Down to the 40-metre line they go. Andrew and Matthew combine. Andrew passing for Ben Kennedy. Kennedy taken down by Reuben. Now they're 32 metres away from the line as Medeiros steers them back towards the centre of the ground for David Fairley on tackle number 5. And again from Medeiros, it's with Andrew Johns. He steps around Brian Fletcher, puts a grubbing kick back inside the 10-metre line where Minicello it is that is marked and put away deep in his own end of the football stadium. Andrew's back now. Andrew from the dressing sheds.
Well, firstly on the Roosters, Luke Ricketson definitely not back tonight because of that torn hamstring. Graham Murray, very briefly, he just said you've got to believe your luck will turn in this match. We've had a lot of close calls go against us. We did get them earlier this year. He reminded his team of the round 9 clash. They scored 2 tries in the final 5 minutes to win, so there's still hope in the Roosters camp. From the Newcastle side of things, Ray, Warren Ryan very, very happy. He just thought the first 15 minutes of this half was going to be vital. And I'll give you an insight into Andrew Johns. At half-time, just before they went back out, he's in the dressing room. He's screaming with delight. It's yahooing. It's not arrogance. It's not a player getting complacent. It is a player who just loves his football. He's loving nights like this.
A kick from Brad Fittler, miles too deep. Rocketing across the dead ball line, so they bring it back now for the 20-metre restart for the Knights. And they don't worry too much how long it takes. Time is very much on their side, as is the scoreboard by 14 points.
Very interested to see how the Newcastle Knights handle this second half. My criticism of them this year is they don't graft out the tough wins. Unless they can do it their way, they don't do it at all. Interesting to see if Warren Ryan's had an effect on them in the preparation for this finals game.
Ben Kennedy now. Almost getting it to halfway for Medeiros to pass away for David Fairley, and both Butterfield and Fairley have really made some indentations with some strong runs in the early minutes of the second half. Medeiros has been great out of dummy half. Matthew Johns, and on tackle 5 he will play the ball 32 metres away from the line as they come down the western side, and Andrew puts a kick in that finds touch. It almost became suspended permanently. And here it is with Anthony Minicello having the job of making up his mind. What do I do? Do I wait? Do I wait? Yes, I'll wait. I'll take the gamble. He took the even money and it came out okay for him, but that's what it was. It was yours for theirs. 10 metres out then, loose head feed, Sydney Roosters, and they hit the blind side with Minicello. And Tar, who was waiting for him, with Andrew Johns, who loves defence as much as he likes attack. Fletcher. Brian playing it on his own 20-metre line. Ryan Cross, who's been away down the right side so many times, but he's been recalled for forward passes and the like on at least 3 or 4 occasions.
Ray, the first penalty in this second half would be quite important. So far we've just seen both teams work away their 6, making good grounds. But all of a sudden, if somebody can just get an extra set of 6 and pick up 30 or 40 metres from a penalty kick, might just swing the momentum as Fittler forced to kick inside his 40, straight to Tahu.
Talking of the first penalty of the second half, I thought it might have been forthcoming as you were talking. Matt Parsons, I thought, went in with a second tackle, which brought a groan from the Roosters crowd, and quite rightly too. I thought, here's Ben Kennedy now in a struggling run that ends in the centre of the park, 40 metres out, his own line, nearest to him, and this is Fairley now to the halfway. The smoke-free final series in its 3rd weekend, preliminary finals. And there's nothing better than sudden death. That pass went backwards from McDougall. And no restart of the tackle count, played by Butterfield. And now Parsons takes it down the centre of the ground. to be just there outside the 30-metre line on tackle 5. And Andrew Johns puts a kick, grubbing across into the corner, guarded by Minicello. And they hit him in defence, Kennedy and Hughes. So they've really pumped away at Minicello in the opening minutes of the second half. A crawling contribution then from Phillips. And now Matt Singh. 16-2, 3 tries to nothing. As Fittler gets the ball on the bounce, the big fellow needs better service than that. Adrian Lamb, a quick run out of dummy half. Simple play by the Roosters carries them beyond the 40-metre line, their own end. And now the boot of Brad Fittler, trying to get the play down the other end of the park. And McDougall helps that cause. He's back at his own line.
As I said earlier in the game, he was convinced he'd get a fumble out of him. McDougall did well to face his own in-goal and drop it backwards. Brad Fittler still peppering him with a lot of kicks, hoping for a result.
Newcastle spreading it wide early. They've gone out to the speed on the right with Albert, one of the 3 try scorers. And then Gidley. One of the stars of the future. One of the stars of the present, I suppose you'd have to say. As centres go in Australia these days, he's really right up there with the best of them. Gidley and Girdler. Parsons now to the 40-metre line. The big fellow labouring away.
Been a good job in defence, that set of 6 from the Roosters. As Andrew Johns sports the kick inside his 40 now. Luke Phillips will bring the ball back into pretty good field position on the first tackle.
The chase is keen. Matthew Johns went in awkwardly. Kennedy over the top made the major tackle. Now Minicello. And he will play it on the second tackle inside the 40-metre line. 16-2. And 6.5 minutes gone. Second half. Fletcher able to stand, looking to unload, with a lot of red and blue jumpers around him. Fittler, I'm told, might have a groin problem. And here's Brad with the kick, and then he goes, oh dear. Not you again. Let's him play that ball. He played it rather gingerly. As Lamb's kick is down on the line for McDougall to bring it back. Adam swerving around a fallen Ian Rubin. And then he beats Cusack, who also lost his footing. And McDougall yet to really put an imprint on the game. Johns, Andrew, scooting run away from dummy half. And then Badeiras pushes Gidley out to the right. Gidley with the ball. And Peden's on his outside. Now he's on his inside. Albert's on his outside. And they're a couple of metres down on Roosters' side of halfway. Butterfield. Great service out of dummy half from Badeiras. I mentioned that earlier. He's always there. Gets it going professionally. Answers the call of the playmakers. Puts the ball on their chest. And that kick looks to be too deep, although it's angling across. It's made Minicello play at it. He's gone again. And there's the defence of Newcastle bringing the crowd to their feet.
It's been a tremendous start in the second half here. Both of these sides parry thrust. Andrew Johns, the banana kick there. Just have a look at this battle out wide. 2 young men, Minicello, Tahu. World Championship Wrestling. Young Newcastle flyer forces him back.
Bill Peden taking his time, making sure that he's got ball security as he takes it back. And there's the ball coming out. Bill Harrigan penalises Peden. Newcastle penalised for not taking it back with the foot.
The referee saying it was a dominant tackle. He planted the ball before he got up. See the Newcastle player with the ball on the ground before he got to his feet. And could this be the change of luck Graham Murray spoke to his team about at half-time? A poor kick from Craig Wing. Obviously Brad Fittler couldn't kick the touch on that occasion. But a penalty in possession could help the Roosters' cause here.
Cusack now. Parsons just under the scrutiny of the trainers. Lamb able to unload. Fittler's with it on the 40-metre line. Calls Fitzgibbon on his inside. Parsons with some ice on a thigh muscle. Craig Wing. Fittler is not 100%. That's been confirmed by that line kick taken by Craig Wing. Damage a groin, it would seem. And then Lamb. Fittler back and across for Luke Phillips to go down the right side. He puts a grubbing kick in behind. Minicello's there for the bounce. Minicello gets the ball inside. And away goes Phillips. Phillips is over. Roosters strike back.
And a great try it was too. Tremendous vision there with the little kick deliberately in behind. It's been a wonderful 10 minutes to start this second half. As we said at the break, two class teams going at each other. This time, the Roosters keep the ball alive. Brad Fittler onto Luke Phillips. He sums it up perfectly. He sees that there's some space in behind. Minicello got the bounce, attracted both the winger and the fullback for Newcastle, and Phillips makes it even better by ensuring a converted try.
At finals time, you can't die wondering. Luke Phillips takes the odds to the bounce. Good work, again working on the up and in defence of the Newcastle Knights. Minicello, who's been peppered by kicks from Newcastle all night, picks up one from the Roosters and sends Phillips on their way. And 16-8, we now have a ball game and a real shot in the arm for the Roosters' cause.
So 16-6 does become 16-8 as we go to a break.
To film a bullet, you need a high-speed camera. ...163 kilowatt, 3.5-litre V6 Mitsubishi Magna VRX. It'll go like a shot. It is Mitsubishi.
So now it's an 8-point break. 14 becomes 8. The Roosters on the climb back. Cusick.
Yeah, momentum can swing in these types of games. Roosters with a bit of wind in their sails now. If they can get a couple of repeat sets of 6, take up some field position. They've shown they've got the ability to score tries. It's up to the Knights now to stiffen their defence and meet the challenge.
Oh, a little juggle there by Dallas Hood. Right on the halfway line. As Fittler puts this kick down the ground, again into the in goal. It looks a mile too big. But then again, well, he's put his hands on his head, Brad. He's not happy with it. I was just thinking to myself that he was quite happy to have a 20-metre tap, get our line set, work for a mistake. Butterfield comes off. But no, Brad was disappointed with his kick. Twice in the second half he's done that. 16-8 as the big men for Newcastle steer the juggernaut up the middle. That's Simpson. I've been talking about the crowd tonight, and oh, intercepted, and it is Brad. He's away inside the 10. He's there. Try for Brad Fittler. Fittler intercepts, and the Roosters are back.
And you could see it coming. They've been quite content with the opening stages of this second half, just to take the ball fairly comfortably. This time, as we freeze it there, you can see Brad Fittler. He comes up out of the line. He can read that something is happening as play continues. He swoops. And a very soft try at finals time. And all of a sudden, in the space of a couple of minutes, this game is turned upside down.
As I said after the break, if Newcastle can't do it their way, they don't do it. They were comfortable early running from dummy half. The minute the Roosters scored, they tried to respond with a big play coming out of trouble. Brad Fittler was up there to put some pressure on and came up with an amazing reward. A kick here alongside the post at 16-12, could well be 16-14. Now who is the momentum with?
Shades of their first round encounter here back in April. They played catch-ups, and at the judge they got the points by 2. Is that the way it's going to be again? Almost in front, Fitzgibbon converts. It's a 2-point margin in the preliminary final as we break.
When you see what you get with the Hyundai Elantra runout, you won't believe your eyes. All for these unbelievable prices. The Elantra runout. Hurry, if you blink, you might miss it. Hyundai. take another look.
Hurry into Harvey Norman and buy furniture and bedding with no deposit and no interest for 24 months and no repayments for 12 months. Lounge and dining furniture, bedding and bedroom suites. No deposit with no interest for 24 months and no repayments for 12 months.
16-14. The Novocastrians are in front, but shakily. They're rocking and rolling. Solomona, the ball is out to Minicello. Minicello's got McDougall to beat. Here comes Ryan Cross. He draws the fullback, crosses away, and Cross at long last will get a try. 3 tries in about 3 minutes. An amazing turnaround.
Bill Harrigan will want to look at the pass here on the outside, but the Roosters again take on the up and in defence of the Newcastle Knights. They were denied 3 times in the first half with forward passes, but as this time, have they got the result? Here's the pass from Solomona. It's gone past the outstretched hand of Tahu. He knew he was in trouble. Well, the ball may well have floated forward, but did it go backwards from the hands? That's the question Ray Warren asked earlier in the game. It was denied to the Roosters. Solomona, long ball. I think it's all right. I think it's all right.
Well, I've got no worries with it, Phil. Peter?
No, look, I'm happy to... I think it was in line. I think his hands... It's one of those that, you know, pretty much like in the first half. It's very, very difficult to work out. And a green or red light, I couldn't argue with either, to be quite honest.
They can't take that off him. Not on a camera angle like that. They can't take it off. There's too much doubt as to whether they can decisively say whether or not that ball's gone forward or not. Doesn't matter how many times he replays this, he's only going to see the same thing. It's a nice flat pass from Solomona. I believe from his hands the ball travels back and then may float forward with momentum. Maybe even a touch from the Newcastle player who got very close to it.
I can assure you that John Gosher, who is the video referee, has got plenty of help tonight. There's a stack of them in there looking at it. He will make the final decision.
I think we've got new leaders. I think this ball game's got a new leader.
Well, Ryan Cross, what a frustrating night for him. We thought he might have walked under a ladder or something like that. Luke Ricketson out of the game early. This, I think it'll be green. It is green. We have a new leader. We have a new leader. 16-2 down. And under 15 minutes ago, Peter, and now it's 18-16 the other way.
And Warren Ryan would be asking Tamana Tahu what he was doing 15 metres in. Really gave a soft run on the outside to Minicello if the pass was delivered. Craig Wink's done pretty well in this game. Solomona, a lovely ball. He's a man who runs the football beautifully, but he's got a good passing game, Solomona. We've seen it on plenty of times throughout this year. And Ryan Cross, well, if you believe that there is some karma, Ryan Cross deserves that.
So Ryan Cross, when he saw the board show the green try, he was a relieved young man. So too was David Solomona, for that matter. Craig Fitzgibbon from right in front. 166 for the season for Craig. He came down from St George Illawarra to join the Sydney Roosters. He converts. We go to another break. This is the Nine Network's Rugby League coverage.
Australian car buyers aren't easily wooed. That's why Daewoo Nabira has a powerful 2-litre engine, air conditioning and scheduled servicing including parts and labour, all from a low $18,990. So let us Daewoo you today.
Four-point margin in favour of the Roosters. What a turnaround, Phil.
And on the back of another penalty, the Roosters will be pumped up. Interesting to see their attitude now. They've finally got to the front by being aggressive with the football, chancing their hand down the edges. A holding down penalty as Newcastle start to panic a little bit at what's just gone on in the last 10 minutes. Will the Roosters keep chancing their arm down the edges, or will they say we're in front, let's play a little bit steadier?
I know that there are many turning points in a game of rugby league, but mark down the Billy Peden, play the ball, not getting to his feet. Instead of attacking down on the line, we've seen 3 tries follow that in the space of 6 or 8 minutes.
This was Dallas Hood under that tackle. And he plays it 48 metres away from the Newcastle line, which has become familiar. Unlike the first half, they've been there 3 times. I think I said in 3 minutes. I might have been exaggerating, but that's the way it has felt. Craig Wing plays the ball 30 metres away again from the Newcastle line as Lamb just hesitates and pumps it back on the inside to Fletcher, and Fletcher back on the inside again. And played there by fullback Luke Phillips. Wing away for Lamb. Lamb puts a little kick in. Ryan Cross will get it over the line. No! Loses it! Oh, I thought it was on again.
Knocked on by you, change.
He's ordered the turnover. Knock on against Ryan Cross. He had every opportunity.
Well, Tamana Tahu, he's having all sorts of problems. This time he slipped over. And great try-saving effort there from Andrew Johns.
So Newcastle come away from their own line. Andrew from the bench. The news for Newcastle, not good.
Yeah, Ray, just to emphasise how the luck has turned now. Peter Shields is out there with a back injury. He's also limping now. He's had a painkiller in his back. So the luck has turned. Matt Parsons is not 100% fit either with a thigh injury. And how prophetic the words now of Warren Ryan at half-time. He said the first 15 minutes of this half will be vital. And look, Ryan Cross, when he went across the line, 15 minutes and 5 seconds gone and the Roosters were in front.
Johns then puts it between Minicello and Luke Phillips. Phillips waving his arms about like a traffic cop, pointing Minicello to where he wants him to be. And then he goes to dummy half before unloading for Matt Singh. And he runs into Matt Parsons to be put down with him, by him and Rahihi. And then Fletcher. And Peter Shields, his season looking very, very precarious at the moment. Solomona, the ball tucked under a wing and then cheekily looking to unload it. And then Dallas Hood pumping it back inside for Riggin and Solomona is able to unload for Craig Wing to dance around David Fairley to the 40-metre line. Badeiras making the tackle. Newcastle have just got to slow them down. They are so confident now, the Roosters. They're really getting on top. 3 tries to lead 20-16. And it's going out to the 20-metre line.
Yeah, some of the crowd, probably the Rooster supporters, thought that ball may have stopped. Adam McDougall must have just got it while it was continuing in motion. Leave it any longer.
This dominance of possession by the Roosters in the last 15 minutes has really taken its toll on the Newcastle Knights. You've got to start to worry now after all the defence that they've done, whether they've got the energy to mount an attack when they get the ball. Very lethargic getting up to take that 20-metre restart.
This is Sean Rudder. Play in the centre of the field. Simpson. Are we watching the final game for Tony Butterfield? Matthew Johns and several of the stars from Newcastle that are heading to England to complete their rugby league careers. Long ball bouncing, and then McDougall puts a kick on it, and Cusack dives on it for the Roosters. Minicello now.
It's a real sign of tiredness, Ray, not being able to find your key kicker on tackle 5 through that ball right past Matthew and Andrew Johns. McDougall was lucky to get his foot to the ball at all.
The time in opposition half is starting to balance up. It's still drastically in favour of Newcastle, but it's balancing.
I do think Newcastle are becoming very vulnerable to a chip kick or a little kick in behind once again. We've already seen 1 try in that fashion. I wouldn't be surprised at some stage in this last 20 minutes that they try it again.
There's Adrian Lamb with this little kick over the top. McDougall losing his footing back there, just into the field of play. Now Darren Albert folds in to take some of the pressure away. Forwards taking a long time to get back there. 5-4 the line breaks to the Roosters. Hughes. David Fairley. 30-metre line. Andrew Johns kicking for himself, looking for the regather. He gets the regather. They link up on his inside. Oh! Sean Rudder put down
Luke Phillips.
Phillips has hit him with a corker of a tackle.
He has hit him with one of the best tackles we've seen all year. He has hit him with a tackle that might just get away this preliminary final. He took the odds of leaving Andrew Johns early and going for the support player, and he clobbered him.
This is a man, Luke Phillips, who's playing with pain-killing injections. He injured his ribs last week. That is the tackle of the season.
The Broncos will be loving this. Gordon Tallis and company.
They'd love a draw. They'd love extra time. They want them to stay out there all night.
Lamb. Adrian deciding to go to the line, and then he decided I might have a shot here. It failed. Craig Wing. Fittler steering Solomona into dummy half. And he waits on the right, the captain, and then puts it in the air. It's a big, big bomb. And allowed to bounce. It's back for McDougall. McDougall heads off towards Albert. And McDougall is taken down 25 out from his own line. Might have been interesting had he got a pass on the outside to Albert there. We know the Newcastle speedster to be one of the fastest men in the game. Fairly. For Newcastle. Peter Shields, I thought the worst for him. As they come down the left side and they put it down, Tahu. And a cello for the Roosters with the ball. Fitzgibbon. That's Riggin.
Well, Andrew Voss, in the first half, we heard plenty of chants of Newcastle. The Roosters crowd making plenty of noise.
They're outside it again, Peter. It's Matt Singh down the left flank. Turns it in. Hegarty. He's there. Another try.
Well, Brad Fittler is now picking them to pieces. The first half, no joy, but the second half, the same kind of attack is now, it's raining points out there. This was a chance for the Newcastle Knights. Tamana Tahu couldn't take advantage of good inside work here from Mark Hughes. He got him on the outside of Minicello. He should have caught that football. And in the next set of 6, Fittler gets the football now. He frees it there. That's Darren Albert. He's the widest man. Look at Matt Singh. He has got 15 metres to work in as play continues. No doubt about that pass. And on the inside, Hegarty, Fittler lining up. Pass wasn't particularly good from Hegarty, but he had the momentum to get across the 18th time this year.
Yeah, we highlighted this at half-time. Brad Fittler was going to take on this Newcastle up and in defence. A few times in the first half, he got outside them with no result. But this time, in the second half, they've done it with grubber kicks. They've done it with long passes. And Singh and Hegarty have got their reward down the left-hand side of the field. He saw McDougall coming across. He waited. He got it back inside behind Hegarty, who showed tremendous strength to pull his way to the line. And now an important conversion kick. Looks like Luke Phillips is going to take the kick, or is it Fitzgibbon?
Well, Phil, if this is an example of up and in defence, it's a pretty poor example. They have peppered them. They could have been in 3 tries in the first half. They've been in 4 times in the second half. They've got outside the defence. They have dropped off in their defensive work. And an incredible turnaround. 15 in, 20 out for Fitzgibbon. And on its way through the lights, it's there. Another converted try. 26-16. It was 16-2, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Voss.
Oh, this is unbelievable, Ray. I'll tell you who had the biggest smile on his face as Shannon Hegarty went across the line. It's that man on screen. Arthur Beetson, the recruitment manager. Shannon Hegarty from Mackay, just a handful of first-grade matches before this year. Look at his tally now. He's played almost the full season in first grade this year and 18 tries.
So, Newcastle getting the ball back from the restart. They went shallow and they got it back.
Also, I was talking about the crowd before that Brad Fittler pass. They are rising to the occasion for the Roosters, making plenty of noise and maybe not outnumbered 4-1 tonight.
Oh, look, I'm in an army of Newcastle fans beside me. I'm looking at their faces now. Their heart has stopped. Their hearts collectively have stopped watching this one, down by 10. They were in front by 14.
Butterfield on the 20-metre line, centre ground. 33,727, the official attendance. Now on the fifth tackle. Scooped up by Badiris and then back for Butterfield. Then away, and it's out to Andrew Johns after Simpson had handled. Now it's with Gidley. Gidley grubber kicks into the end goal, and it'll be a line drop out. Newcastle will get a chance. One of the rare chances in the second half.
It's the second time in this second 40 minutes Danny Badiris has found a forward on fifth tackle. They get out of it simply through their own skill. Johns knew to go to Gidley, and Gidley got it in behind the line. The Roosters covered it up. You would have to think if the Knights are going to get back into this contest, they're going to have to come up with a try in this little stanza of play as they get a repeat set of 6.
Down. Simpson to go striding back. Matt Parsons has had a change of jumper, I'm told. He's now wearing jumper number 18. Kennedy struggles. Ooh, they almost lifted over the horizontal. Put him down. Then Simpson. 53,700, the official crowd. Great crowd. And though they might be outnumbered, the Roosters fans, they're very vocal now. Andrew Johns is 12 away. If they score here, they will lift. They will come back. Peden. Hammering defence by Fittler. He's built like a front row forward. He puts Peden away. Now Andrew. Now Matthew. And to the 10-metre line.
I think they've got to run one this way, Ray.
He does that. Long ball for Mark Hughes. Now that's come off the feet and the hands of the Roosters. And Bill is turning it over.
Yeah, not played out by the Roosters. And I must say that even though he's the least experienced of the 4 coaches in charge over this weekend, Graham Murray has done a great job. He's shown himself to be a master tactician. Actually, I think Ryan Cross did put the foot out there. I think he did deliberately play at that.
And it's nice that a few things are going their way in this second half. The Roosters now 10 minutes away from a grand final. Been so close in recent times. Finally, Graham Murray's troops look as though they can nail it.
Played here by Rigon. Now for Solomona. And on the halfway line, he's flung down by Bill Peden. Martin Bonetti for Fittler, and Fittler, he knows he's got them. 10 minutes to go. He's got a 10-point break. And get down there after this kick and nail them down there. Simple instructions as McDougall is put away. Gidley. Fairly. Wasn't expecting it. Still, he did well to get it out to the 20-metre line before he plays it back for Badiris to send Butterfield to the defence line again. A great warrior he's been for Newcastle. He's been there all the time. Matthew Johns and then Bill Peden. Again, Fittler. Never mind about his attack. He's really hit them with some very heavy defence, particularly in the last couple of minutes. Here he is. Turning him over, dropping him on his back. And it's a penalty to Newcastle.
Well, the Roosters knew what happened the last time Andrew Johns chip kicked for himself. They made sure they got in his way. They've conceded the penalty. It could have saved a very dangerous situation. The Knights have to score in this set of 6. The Roosters repel them to win the game.
Rahihi had the ball free. He's looking for runners. Runners that weren't there. Now the Knights with Butterfield hammering it inside the 10. 10-point margin. Matthew Johns back for Danny Badiris. Badiris across the back for Andrew Johns. Likewise, Mark Hughes. Now, Tahu, he's in! Tahu's there!
Well, the game is not over. And a big kick coming up. A planned move again from the Newcastle Knights with 8 minutes left. took advantage of the penalty after Andrew Johns was fouled. Shoulder charge from a man just impeding him. Goes to the right, back deliberately, and as we freeze it there, you can see players in motion. Ben Kennedy's important, and they get a second man coming around. As play continues, that gives them the overlap. Johns, cut out pass. Hughes was able to get outside cross. That put Tahu outside Minicello. That gave them just enough space in the corner.
Yeah, we can see what the Newcastle Knights were doing at their weekend off. They're working on set plays. They've come up with 3 tries from set pieces tonight. A little bit of inexperience there on Minicello. Just gave him a little too much space on the outside. Johns kicks. It's away.
So 6 points the margin. 26-20. 7.5 minutes to go. Andrew Voss sideline.
Just a little interesting sidelight to that battle on the Newcastle left wing. Tamana Tahu against Minicello. They were actually junior Kangaroo teammates at the end of last year, and I think you'll find they were roommates, so they built up quite a friendship. Yet here they are tonight, arch enemies, and they really have had a battle. Tamana Tahu chalks one up with a 4-pointer there.
Bill Harrigan stopping the clock. Harrigan retiring way out to the sideline to make sure that everybody stays behind the kicker. Gives him an enormous run, Bill Harrigan, as referee, to get over there to that play the ball. He's got to get back there as quickly as he can. Back to the 10-metre line for the defence. So Newcastle need a converted try, and they've got 6 3/4 minutes to do it in. Then that would only bring them a draw. Rauhihi, 32 metres away from the line. Newcastle fighting for their lives. Halfway line. Matthew Johns, he kicks, and was Andrew taken out? He was. It's a penalty to the Knights. That's what they wanted.
Yeah, Shannon Hegarty is the culprit. Now they just need, well, I can't believe they've taken the tap. Really think they should have kicked for touch.
Kennedy now. Angling to the 20-metre line. And they're right in the centre of the park. Andrew with a long pass. Gidley on Hegarty. And Gidley's pass doesn't find the mark of Albert. It finds the touchline.
And the sliding defence of the Roosters. We saw it against the Raiders last week. They force Gidley wide. Singh stays, allows Hegarty to make his tackle. The ball goes out over the sideline. Matt Singh did not come in on Gidley. He said, Albert's my man. He trusted his centre. And they've forced a very vital error. 5.5 minutes left on the clock.
So for the Roosters, it must be mistake-free. As they bring it away out of their own zone, it is Ryan Cross who's hit, and hit hard by Ben Kennedy.
If I was Brad Fittler, Ray, I'd be tempted not to wait to the last to kick.
Fletcher.
I'd let them go one more and then drive it as far as he could. Wouldn't care if it went over the dead ball line at the other end.
Ruben now. So they've used 4. And it has gone to Solomona. So they're going to use the full complement. Now back for the boot. The boot is Bradley Fittler.
The key for the Roosters there, they gave it to their best and quickest play the ball man, Solomona, on the 5th tackle. That way they'd have momentum, get the ball quickly to Fittler. Solomona on tackle 5, very quick play the ball.
McDougall.
Been very well contained tonight. Adam McDougall hasn't featured too prominently as Johns looking for support.
Badera supports. And now they're 5 metres from the halfway line. Not beaten yet. Badera gets up and goes again before giving it to Gidley. Gidley gets it away for Andrew Johns. He puts it on the bounce over to Kennedy. Kennedy takes it down to the 40-metre line and beyond. And the Roosters converge. A quick play the ball by Kennedy. Peden for Andrew Johns. He looks back on the blind side. And on the short side he finds McDougall. McDougall finds Rahihi. And it goes over the sideline.
It's hard to get them when you really need them. The clock is the worst enemy to Newcastle at the moment. The Roosters hanging on. They're trying everything they've got, but the defence doesn't panic. See how the angle. They're all coming back towards the corner post. They know they can win the race there. Show them the outside. Again, the ball over the sideline. Roosters sliding defence working well under pressure.
Roosters fan club working well under pressure as well. But not the pressure they were under at half-time. They trailed 16-2, and they're leading 26-20. 7-6 the handling errors. 30-metre line. Their own end. Steady as you go. That's all they have to do. Ryan Fletcher. It's been a mighty effort.
It's been a huge effort. Not just the deficit they've had to overcome, but the fact they've done it with a man short. No Luke Ricketson from fairly early in this game. Adrian Lamb now out of dummy half. All the chasers on side. He'd be happy to find touch and does so. Inch perfect.
The little thing's falling now. Adrian Lamb over the top. In the first half, this might have gone an inch outside the sideline. In the second half, just gets in, bang. Now the Knights have got to go 100 metres if they want to stay alive in this competition. The Roosters 2 minutes to hold on to get to a grand final.
Gidley. They've got 90 metres to go. Tahu's down the left side, turns on the inside. He's grounded there by Minicello, or by Fittler it was, 25 away from the Knights line. Here's a good run. David Fairley, is it? No, in fact, it was Bill Peden. Matthew Johns, Andrew Johns combined. Rahihi up the middle.
The Roosters must not give a penalty away. They must not give the opposition 2 sets of 6.
Badiris. The pass, I thought, was forward to Mark Hughes. He then tries to go through. He does. Andrew Johns is inside the 40-metre line. Andrew Johns will stay alive. Puts it on the ground. Picked up by Ben Kennedy, but
knock on.
Bill Harrigan has wanted to knock on.
Knock on. It's too early to say game, set and match. The ball goes straight to the ground. Bill Harrigan rules it's knocked forward. And that could well be, as Andrew Johns indicates, the last throw of the Dykes for the Newcastle Knights. Now the Roosters, 1 minute, 1 set of 6. Hold on to the ball. 5 tackles. Get it out over the sideline. Raise your hands in the air. You're off to the grand final.
Bring it around.
So eventually we get the ball in and out of the scrum, and it is Luke Phillips, one of the try scorers in that absolute try-scoring blitz that they launched in the early and middle part of the second half. One of the great rugby league comebacks. They were down at 16-2, 26-20, the final seconds of the game. Graham Murray, Hegarty.
One good kick. Get it out over the sideline. Well done. Raise your hands in the air.
You are going to the grand final. The Sydney Roosters are into the grand final. First team through. Look at the elation. The coach, Graham Murray, embraced by staff. Brad Fittler. It's a wonderful moment for the team that crossed the line second, and then the agony, the end of Matthew Johns in this famous jumper, the end of a marvellous career for Tony Butterfield, the looks of collective disappointment. They cannot believe it. I don't think either side can believe it. It was 16-2. Andrew has taken the count. Wonderful moments for the team from Bondi Junction. Trainer Ronnie Palmer. They are the first team into the grand final. So tomorrow it'll be Parramatta's turn against Brisbane. Parramatta, they will recall that they beat the Sydney Roosters 32-8. Saturday night, August 5. So it is now rebuilding time for Newcastle. They lose all those players. This man will become their leader. His brother will go. Anthony Butterfield retires. What a wonderful man he has been for Newcastle. He's given it his all. Then, of course, Fairley and Shields, they're all on departure. And while we rejoice with the Sydney Roosters, I can't help but feel so sorry for Anthony Butterfield. So there it is, the final scoreboard, 26-20. The Roosters have beaten the Knights in front of 33,700. We go to a break, they go to their fans, they were outnumbered, but vocally they were equal to the task. We are destined to a break, and then we come back. The final wrap-up will include our Tui's new $1,000 man of the match. Wonderful scenes here at the football stadium, headquarters of rugby league, and the home stadium of the Sydney Roosters. They played in a grand final last in 1980. They went down to Canterbury. Now they wait for Parramatta and Brisbane to work it out tomorrow. And you'll see that live on the wide world of sports, to which we return in just a moment.
G'day.
Yo, everybody! This is that Aussie dude I was telling you all about.
G'day, fellas.
Can I get you a drink?
Okay to BYO. Go ahead. Check it out.
Woo! Hey, give me 5, man.
Hey, easy, mate. Try one at a time.
It's the demolition sale of the century at Cessnock Toyota. All vehicles are to be sold at special low sale prices to make way for massive renovations. New and used vehicles practically thrown out. Demolition sale prices on all sedans, all four-wheel drives, all commercials, all people movers. The dozers are in, and every vehicle will be cleared at special demolition sale prices. The demolition sale of the century, on now at Cessnock Toyota.
4 years ago, I was travelling around the States and I ended up in Atlanta at the Olympic Games. I really didn't care what I saw, I just wanted to experience the Olympic Games. I bought whatever tickets I could get. I was so lucky in Atlanta, I actually saw Australia win quite a lot of gold medals. It's the most amazing thing, like, you get the goose pimples going, the tears going. Actually watching the Olympics live, it just blows you away. And you know, people that aren't going are missing out on a lifetime experience that you'll never, ever, ever have again.
Too early for breakfast? Then go to McDonald's later.
It's finals time at Cardiff Toyota, and they're putting huge hits on the opposition with huge savings on Toyota's, Kia's, Subarus, 400 quality used cars. Plus, you can win up to $1,000 cash back just by passing the ball. But only this finals weekend at Cardiff Toyota. All right? All right.
Kennards makes your job easy.
For the builder, tradesperson or home renovator, we'll hire you the right tool and with the right advice to get the job done. Kennards are open a full 7 days and there's a hire centre near you.
Kennards makes your job easy.
Dowling Real Estate is completely Newcastle owned. Local people looking after local people.
Dowling Real Estate gets results.
Because of Dowling Real Estate, we can sell anything.
Feel like you deserve all the benefits of one of the best home loans around? Or like you deserve a better return on your investment dollar? Well, the feeling's mutual, so talk to Maitland Mutual today.
All new Tarago. The more you drive it, the more everything else seems old-fashioned. It's the only 8-seater with a powerful PVTi engine. and the protection of an advanced Toyota safety cell. New Tarago, generations ahead.
Jenny Potter has the chance to win $250,000.
And only 3 little questions left.
Will Jenny become our first millionaire winner Monday on NBN?
We've seen some remarkable comebacks at the Sydney Football Stadium in the last couple of years. This is as good as any, with the Sydney Roosters defeating the Newcastle Knights 26 points to 20, 24 to 4 in the second half, with Phillips, Fittler, Cross and Hegarty grabbing tries. Fitzgibbon kicked 5 from 5 off a Newcastle Hughes. Andrew Johns, Albert and Tahu got across. Andrew Johns kicked 2 from 5. Some wonderful performances out there tonight in a pulsating game of rugby league. The man we chose as the best is with Andrew Voss.
And Peter Tui's new man of the match. He's like an excited teenager, which is, I think, what he was, a teenager when he last played in a grand final. The Roosters captain, Brad Fittler. Put us in your shoes right now. How are you feeling?
I don't know. All the boys are carrying on after the win, and I just made sure we didn't want to be celebrating here and not next week. So put that in the pocket, but I was only a kid last time, and I really don't know how to feel at the moment, but savour it tonight and we're back into business tomorrow.
Take us into the rooms at half-time. The scoreboard, 16 points to 2. What's the mood in the room like?
The mood, all I had to say was that Newcastle decided that, you know, they can win from anywhere and you can beat them from anywhere. So I knew we went out of the game. We're in a similar position a couple of years ago. So our boys just dug in. We had a couple of, bad, unlucky breaks in the first half that it went against us. We thought if they turned around, we were a chance, and they did.
Well, Warren Ryan said in the Newcastle room he thought the first 15 minutes would be vital in the context of this match. What did you think? 15 gone, suddenly hit the front. Did you think they were gone? The heads were down in the Newcastle camp?
Oh, their head were down, but the thing is there was a couple of gaps starting open, and we just had to keep playing football. And I think maybe in the last 10 minutes we bottled up and stopped playing football, and make sure we won't do that next week.
What are the celebrations tonight? Is it let the hair down a little bit and then really knuckle down for the next 7 days?
I haven't been on drink all year. I'll have a quiet one tonight, and you only get very rare chance to make grand finals, and so I'll take it easy, make sure I'm in the best.
And I better mention very quickly, we hinted you may have had a groin problem in that second half. You dismissed that?
No, mate, no. Everything's fine, 100%.
Shoes are on the right feet? Yep,
right.
Everything's fine. Good on you, Brad. Tui's new man of the match. Well done.
Thanks, Tui's, and Channel 9, and see you next week.
See you next Sunday.
We will indeed. We were blessed tonight. We saw the 2 best players in rugby league in action. Johns was magnificent in a beaten side, but Phil Gould, that's the best game I've ever seen Brad Fittler play.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't going to die wondering tonight, Peter. We said at half-time he'd take them on. He knew this was their last shot. He took them on and produced a number of terrific passes. His defence was outstanding. He led that team to victory. But don't doubt the other players. Luke Ricketson went down early and everyone had to shoulder a little bit more of the work. They never gave up despite being behind on the scoreboard. A tremendous comeback and a great impetus into a grand final. They can sit back tomorrow and watch Parramatta and Brisbane go at it, knowing full well that they play the winner.
You wrote a column during the week talking about the Roosters' efforts in finals, that it's better than people believe. Tonight, it's just a continuation of that.
It is, but I mean, sometimes your lessons are hard to learn, and we learnt hard lessons. And Graham Murray's done an outstanding job with this young group of players this year. They've been inconsistent at times, but come finals time after the disappointment of the Parramatta loss, he was able to shrug it off. He built up their confidence. He got them going again. A big win against the Raiders last week. And as I said, whilst a lot of people weren't impressed, it gives them great confidence to come out with a barnstormer. They never gave up. A tremendous performance, and congratulations to everyone at the club. They really deserve it.
And an absolute joy to watch. Don't forget, plenty of other sport coming up on the Channel 9 cameras over the weekend, starting tomorrow morning at 3:30 with the 3rd round of this US PGA Championship from Louisville PGA. Stuart Appleby, I think, the best placed Australian at the moment. The cricket continues tomorrow afternoon. You'll see the 3rd match live at 10 a.m. with the Aussies taking on South Africa, following that tie down in Melbourne, again at Colonial Stadium. And then you'll see the Sunday footy show at 1:30 p.m. A special time for the footy show. We'll be joined by David Penner and Brad Fittler, tonight's star. That will be followed by, of course, the 2nd preliminary final with the Brisbane Broncos taking on the Parramatta Eels. You'll see that live at 2:40 p.m. And then next Thursday night from the Lyric Theatre at Star City, the final edition of the footy show, the grand final edition. That's at 9:30. So plenty of good things to look forward to. But tonight, the Sydney Roosters, they have booked a berth in next week's grand final. Tomorrow afternoon, we will know whether they are playing Brisbane or Parramatta. We know you've enjoyed this one. Stay with us. But for now, on behalf of the Channel 9 Rugby League crew from the Sydney Football Stadium, we wish you all a very good night.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports. This program brought to you by Tooheys New and Bundaberg Rum.
Two criminals on the run.
It's going to turn out just like we planned it, Rosie.
Jack Christie and his daughter are hostage.
Make no mistake.
Boys!
They are armed and they are dangerous.
Bonnie and Clyde versus a raging detective.
You're tying up manpower.
I wish to God some people never met you, Jack.
Just about anything could happen.
If Sophie makes one wrong move...
She's passed out.
Sophie!
What a Rats, Tuesday, 8:30 on NBN. It's finals time, and it's all on NBN. The Young Eels clash with the Might of Brisbane, live 2:40 tomorrow on NBN. Sunday.
What are you waiting for?
Jennifer Love Hewitt, Ryan Felipe, and Sarah Michelle Gellar. I Know What You Did Last Summer premieres Sunday on NBN.